I'm Mark Mather. I'm Associate Vice President of U.S. Programs at the Population Reference Bureau. I want to thank you for joining us for this tutorial on the new ACS online community website. So before I get started, I wanted to turn it over to Linda Jacobson. Linda is Vice President of U.S. Programs here at PRB, and she's going to provide a few words of introduction about this project.
Thanks, Mark, and welcome everyone. The ACS online community that Mark will be showing you in a few minutes is just one part of a larger effort we are leading to form and coordinate an ACS data users group. And that overall effort is made possible through a partnership between PRB and Sabre Systems and the U.S. Census Bureau. And we are thankful for the Census Bureau's help as well as that of our steering committee, some of whom are on the webinar today. So why form an ACS data users group? Well, the ACS, as I'm sure all of you know, is a complex survey that is always changing, and it's very widely used by a diverse group of data users, many of whom work in relative isolation. So the purpose of the ACS Data Users Group is to help data users connect with each other, to share experiences and results, and to communicate about key ACS data issues and applications. Now, the ACS Data Users Group is not an advisory group to the Census Bureau, but the group will contribute to the Census Bureau's efforts to gain a broader understanding of both ACS data users and applications of ACS data. And of course, very important, membership in the ACS Data Users Group is free, and it's open to all interested ACS data users. And I just want to note that in addition to the ACS online community that we're demonstrating today, we will also be providing opportunities for ACS data users to connect and share information through a series of webinars on ACS data issues and applications, as well as sessions at professional meetings, such as the recent annual meetings of the Association of Public Data Users and the upcoming meetings of the Southern Demographic Association. And we will be holding the first ACS Data Users Conference here in Washington, D.C. on May 29th and 30th next spring. So please mark your calendars for that exciting event. And you can find more information about all of these activities on the ACS Data Users Group website. And if you have additional questions or you want more information, please get in touch with us. My contact information is listed on the website. So let me just close by saying that we are very excited about the ACS Data Users Group, and we hope you all will join and find the online community, webinars, and Data Users Conference both interesting and valuable to your work with the ACS. And now let me turn it back over to Mark.
Thanks, Linda. And before I take people into the online community, I do want to provide a little bit more background. Linda mentioned some of the reasons why we started this online community, but I thought people might be interested to know a little bit more about who is using this, who is the ACS data user community, and who might be using this website. We initially, when we first started this project, we sent out a survey to people to learn about what our potential audience for this resource might look like and to gauge their potential interest in something like this. And we knew that there were a lot of ACS data users out there, but we were sort of overwhelmed in the response that we got. So we found that there were over 850 people who were potentially interested in joining an online community for ACS data users. About half of those 850 people were from academia, about 20% were from nonprofits, and the rest were split between federal government, state government, local government, and private businesses. We also asked people the types of associations and networks that they belong to, and the largest of those was actually the Population Association of America, but that was closely followed by the American Sociological Association and the American Planning Association. And the Planning Association was especially interesting to me because that's a group, as a member of PAA, the Planning Association is not a group that I've ever really interacted with, but I know there are a lot of planners out there who are using ACS data, and so we hope that many of you will join the community. We also had a good mix of people who self-identified themselves as experts. That's about 1/4 of our survey respondents. About 1/2 were self-labeled as intermediate users, and about 1/4 said they were beginners. So we have a hugely diverse group of people, and we hope that this community will be a place where everybody can find something that's useful to them. For those who have already joined the site, you can see that we have a lot of people who have joined from different parts of the country and different associations and affiliations. We have about 200 people who have joined so far, so a good turnout for the first week that this has been up and running. So the web page that is up right now is a public website. It's called it's acsdatausers.org. And the purpose of this site is twofold. One is to provide a gateway to the online community. So you can see here at the very top there's a blue bar that will connect people directly to the ACS online community. There's also a link over here in the left-hand navigation. But the purpose of this site is also to share some of the key information that we want to make available to everybody who might be using ACS data. So we have a list of events here, including the list of webinars that we're planning to produce under this project. So for those who attended the July webinar, ACS Data for Small Geographic Areas, there's a link here to the recording of that webinar. And once this webinar is completed, there will be a link to the recording for this one, and then a list of all of the webinars that are tentatively planned for the next two years or so. There's information about the ACS Data Users Conference, and this will be updated as we get more information in the coming weeks. And as Linda mentioned, we're planning some sessions at professional meetings, so we have some links to, we have some information about sessions that were held at the AppDoom meeting and at the upcoming Southern Demographic Association meeting. We also have some key resources, and most of these are links to the Census Bureau page, so due to the shutdown, they're not currently active, but we'll be adding to this page as we get more resources available for ACS data users. We have an About page that lists all of the members of the steering committee. And then a contact page with contact information if you wanted to get in touch with Linda about any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and click over to the online community. And because I've already joined, you'll see that it puts me right into the system. If you have not yet joined the online community, you will be prompted to enter an email address and create a password for this site. So I know that some people are hesitant about sharing their email, but it is important in this case to provide a valid email address, and I'll get into that a little bit later. And the important thing to know is that you can control how much email traffic comes to your inbox. So if you don't want to receive any email, you have that option in the system, or if you want to be updated regularly with what's happening in the community, you can do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and log out so you can see what the initial page looks like for those who have not yet joined. This is the first page that you'll come to. There's an option for existing members to log in. And then for new users, it will ask you to join, to click on this link to join the site. There's also a link here to something called community guidelines, and it's kind of hard to see down there, but I wanted to bring this to your attention because these are kind of the standards that we hope people will use in coming to the site, and mostly it's just reminding people to be nice. So don't post anything that you wouldn't want your mother to see is one of the things that they mention here in the community guidelines. it mentions that we don't want a lot of solicitations, so it's fine for you to list resources that might be interesting to other people, but we don't want this to make people trying to make hard sales on this site or selling various products to other users. I'm going to go ahead and log in here. Okay. So the first thing that pops up when I get into the site is this little box that says, "What's on your mind?" And for those who have used Facebook, it's very similar to a status update on Facebook. So if you post something in here, it will show up in the front page here and in your profile. You know, if there's something you just wanted to share with everyone who's visiting the site, you can do that with this box. This I want to say one thing about this, the fact that this is a private website, because what that means is that all of the content that appears on this site is only available to people who are members of the site. And we actually debated this a little bit with our steering committee, because there would be benefits of making all of this material searchable through Google, for example, because we would be able to reach a much larger audience. And we considered doing that, but we thought that it would be more important to really make this as useful as possible for dedicated ACS data users. We wanted to really make this a private site where it's not just random people posting random comments. So making this a private site where you need a username and password enables us to make this more of a community where people can get to know each other. Okay. So one of the first things that you'll have to do when you first log in is to create a user profile. And I'll show you what that looks like, because I've already created one, and I'll click on Update My Profile so you can see the types of questions that we're asking. So when you first log in, it will ask you your affiliation with different types of organizations or agencies. You'll be asked to describe your level of knowledge about the ACS, how often you use the data, your topical areas of expertise and subject areas of interest, and things that you want to learn more about. We also encourage you to put in a few words about yourself down here. And all of this information is to help other people connect with members of the community with particular interests. And I'll show you how you can do that in just a little bit. As you go through this process of entering information about yourself, it will also prompt you to enter your location, and you can make that as specific or general as you want. But for example, when I put in my information, I just noted that I was working in Washington, D.C., and by doing that, I'll be able to later connect with other people, other ACS data users who are working in the D.C. area. Now there's a really nice feature in the left-hand navigation called Search Members. And what that allows you to do is to search for other ACS data users with various attributes. So if I want to find people with specific characteristics, those from a federal agency or state government agency, for example, I can just click on those that I'm interested in. I can click on particular topics of interest, and it will bring up other members of the community who have specified those particular attributes. We also have something called a people map, which is it's the same type of search feature, but it does this in a graphic display. So what this does is it puts you at the middle of this map, and then it shows the members who are closest to you in terms of their attributes. So since Linda is in the office next to mine, she actually shows up as the person closest to me in terms of ACS attributes of other ACS data users. But using this filter in the right-hand side of your screen here, you can quickly narrow down the people that you want to find based on their affiliations, based on their knowledge of the ACS, and other characteristics. So you can quickly find, for example, expert data users that are affiliated with a college or university. And then I mentioned that you can enter your geographic location, and so by doing so, you can enable people to find you based on their place of work. So right now we have 22 people who listed Washington, D.C. as their ACS data users, and they're working in D.C. or in the D.C. area. So I know people are often, they're reluctant to enter their personal information, but I think that this is really one of the strengths of the website. Creating this profile information is really the best way to get to know each other in the online community. It allows you to introduce yourself to other people and learn about other people in the network. We hope that people will also put their pictures into the site. If you're not comfortable putting in a picture, you're welcome to put in a picture of your cat or your dog. But I think in terms of meeting up with people later at the ACS Data Users Conference, for example, it'll be good to be able to see to put a name to the face. Okay, that brings me to the groups. There's a link on the left-hand navigation to the discussion groups that you can join in the ACS online community, and this is really critical to get the most out of the site. We really encourage people to join some of these groups, and what these groups do is they provide a way to interact with people around specific topics. So we had some very good discussions actually just in the past few days about calculating margins of error from derived ACS data. And for those of you who joined the group on margins of error in the ACS, that discussion would have automatically been sent to your inbox, so you can see the types of information that people are providing. And right now we have about a dozen groups that we have put up here for people to join. And the way the system is set up, we have not enabled data users themselves in the community to create their own groups. But if you think there are groups here that are missing that we should be adding, feel free to contact me, and we can consider adding some additional groups here that people would like to see. By default, these groups are sorted by basically their popularity, the number of members. So right now, the ACS data for small geographic areas and population subgroups has risen to the top because it has the most members. Now, I mentioned that you can change your email settings. And so for each of these groups that you join, once you join a group, you will automatically receive emails it'll be every time somebody posts something to that group, it'll come to your inbox. But if at any time the email gets to be overwhelming, you can just click this link that says Stop Email, and you will no longer receive those emails. You can still go online to see the discussion, but you won't be your inbox won't be overflowing with that type of content. For those of you who use RSS feeds, I haven't used this myself, but it's my understanding that RSS is a nifty way to kind of manage a lot of content and check it at your leisure. Instead of this information coming to your inbox, you'll be able to use an RSS feed to view it whenever you want. You can also manage email preferences by going to your profile and clicking under Personal Information, Notification Preferences. So here it brings up a list of all of the groups that I'm currently subscribed to and my email preferences for each of those groups. So if I don't want to receive emails as they come, these message posts as they come in, I can have them combined into one email and receive those on a daily basis, a weekly basis, or I can select for any of these groups that I don't want to receive any emails. Also, if you decided that you joined a group and then decide that it wasn't that useful, you can also remove yourself by clicking on these X's here, and that will unsubscribe you from the group. Okay, a couple of other features here. We have something called a resource center, which we haven't posted anything here yet, but the resource center we think will be very useful when we have more materials related to the ACS Data Users Conference. This is a place where we can provide information about the agenda and the hotel and the registration. So I think there's a collection of materials that we will be posting here related to the ACS conference. And if other people have other resources that they think would be useful for the entire ACS community, you could post those here and make them available. So I think another good example might be a collection of links to other websites that people might find to be of interest. That's the type of information we thought would be good in the Resource Center. There's also an area for blogging, so if anybody posts blogs on their own organization's website, we'd be happy to have you repost those on our website. I'm planning to post some short blogs about ACS data issues on this site. There's also a polling feature which will give us an opportunity to send out a poll to ACS data users if we have a particular question about sessions that people want to see in the ACS Data User Conference, for example. We can send out a short poll and have people respond to that survey. The chat feature is really like an online discussion. So we thought this might be useful for if there's somebody who wants to, if there's an expert on a certain ACS topic that wants to hold an online discussion, we could schedule an online chat using this type of feature. And then down at the bottom here, we have an invite a colleague. So we encourage you, if you have colleagues in your organization that you think might be interested in joining this community, you can click on this link and they'll be sent an invitation to join. So as Linda mentioned, this is free and open to anyone who's interested in ACS data. And finally, at the bottom here, we have a tutorial that we created, which, let me see if I can switch this. It's just a two-page tutorial that provides the basics, and I covered a lot of this in what I just talked about, but this will walk you through the whole process of logging in, creating a profile, how to join groups, start a discussion, managing email notifications, and searching for members. So there's lots of basic information here to get you started. And this reminds me, one thing I didn't mention is how to add files to the online community. So under groups, when you start a new discussion in one of your groups, there's a couple ways to add a file. You can either start a discussion, and you'll see that there's a link down here that gives you an option to add a photo, file, or video. So it's possible to add a PDF or a Word document or a PowerPoint by clicking on that link. Or you can actually, instead of starting a discussion, you can just say that I want to submit a file. And you can post that here. And the files can be up to 10 megabytes in size. So we have plenty of space on the server, and shouldn't run into any problems in terms of managing the number of files that are posted here. Let me see. So I think that pretty much covers the basics of what I wanted to go over. The only other thing I'll mention that as one of our jobs as administrators is really to make sure that everything is working as it should, to make the site as useful as possible, to help guide the discussions. We're probably going to be making some changes to the site over time based on feedback that we receive from members. But we really hope to sort of fade into the background. So this is not, the purpose here, as Linda mentioned, is not for us to push out information or to provide technical assistance. It's really to allow ACS data users to talk to each other. So we're here as site administrators. You know, we can also do some minor policing if we find that people do post any type of inappropriate content. We have the ability to take that down and contact people to tell them not to do that. But we're really just hoping as administrators to fade into the background. So I think that concludes all of the things I wanted to talk about. Linda, was there anything else that I missed that you thought I should add?
Nope. I think that's everything.
Okay. We do have some questions I see that have come in, so let me see if I can answer a couple of these. Somebody mentioned that they had trouble going to acsdatausers.org website. And I think that what might be, I think you do need to put a www.acsdatausers.org in order to get to the website. So if you try that, that might fix your problem. Somebody asked if we have any tips for accessing ACS data while the American Factfinder is blacked out. That's actually a good topic that we should, I think, add to the online community, because although we can, somebody has already posted one comment about that, and we were planning to post some additional information, but I think members of the community probably have even some, they'll have their own suggestions for where people might go to access ACS data until the government comes back online. So that's exactly the type of topic that would be useful for this type of a community. And I think that should cover everything. There's not any other questions. A few people were having trouble accessing the website, but just type in www.acsdatausers.org and you should be able to get online. So thanks everybody. We'll be in touch about the online community and future webinars for ACS data users in the coming weeks. And that concludes today's webinar. Thanks.